Welcome to the deep dive. You know, where we really try to get to the heart of interesting tech topics.
That's the plan.
So we've all been there, right? Too many boxes, streamers, consoles, whatever, and just not enough HDMI ports on the TV.
Or maybe you want the game on in one room, but someone else wants a movie in another.
Exactly. Using the same devices, but without that awful cable swapping dance every time.
Right, the constant plugging and unplugging.
Today, we're diving into something that tackles exactly that, the HDMI Matrix Switch. It sounds technical, but it's surprisingly useful.
Mm-hmm.
Our mission is basically to unpack what this thing is, why you might actually want one, and, well, what it can really do. We're basing this on a product deep dive, specifically from HDTV Supply.
Yeah, and like if your setup feels like, a bit of a tangled mess, this is your shortcut. We'll show you how to manage multiple screens, multiple sources, without getting lost in the tech jargon. Control what goes where.
Okay, let's do it. So the specific gadget is the WolfPack 4K 60Hz 4x2 HDMI Matrix Switch. It also mentions ARC and audio outs. But let's start simple. What exactly is a 4x2 HDMI Matrix Switch?
Think of it like a smart traffic controller for your video signals. The 4x2 just means it takes 4 inputs.
Like consoles, Blu-ray players.
Exactly, your sources. And it lets you send any of those 4 to either of 2 different outputs.
2 outputs, so like 2 TVs or a TV and a projector.
Precisely, 2 displays. That's the 4-in-2 out part.
Okay, so it's not just mirroring one thing to 2 screens. It's more flexible than that.
Exactly. That's the key, the matrix part. It's not a simple splitter. Each of those 2 screens, your 2 outputs, can choose independently from any of the 4 inputs.
Ah, I see. So say input 1 on TV A and input 3 on TV B at the same time.
You got it. You could be gaming on the main TV, maybe that's output A, while someone else streams a totally different show on the kitchen TV, output B, all drawing from that same pool of 4 devices connected to the switch.
That really does sound powerful. You know, if you think about your own setup at home, you can see how this avoids that not enough inputs problem, or wanting different stuff in different rooms without replugging everything. It cleans things up.
It simplifies things a lot, yeah.
Now, beyond just routing signals, this WolfPack switch seems focused on quality. The source mentions 4K 60Hz and 18 Gbps 4K UHD support. What's the significance there for the picture?
Okay, yeah, these specs are important. They're not just numbers. 4K 2K at 60 Hz, specifically with YUV 4.4.4, and that 18 Gbps bandwidth that tells you it can handle the full uncompressed color signal at a really smooth 60 frames per second.
So no compromises.
Pretty much. For gaming, that means smooth motion, no weird artifacts, colors look how they're supposed to. For movies, it's getting all the detail, the rich colors, that cinematic look. The 18 Gbps is like the highway, needs to be wide enough for all that 4K data.
So it's not just 4K, it's like good 4K, high quality 4K.
Exactly. And it mentions support for 8-bit and 36-bit deep color, too. That helps deliver smoother gradients, fewer color banding issues you might see sometimes.
Okay.
It also lists a whole range of supported resolutions, naturally, from that top-end 4K 60 down through 1080p at various frame rates, even 3D, 720p, standard def, basically whatever you throw at it. And crucially, HDMI 2.0 and HTCP 2.2 compliant.
HDCP 2.2, that's the copy protection thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely essential. Modern 4K sources, like streaming services or UHD Blu-rays, require it. Without HDCP 2.2 support, you just get a black screen. So non-negotiable for 4K setups.
Right. Okay, let's talk sound. The name mentions audio outs. If you have a separate sound system, maybe a sound bar or receiver, what are the options here?
Good question, because audio routing can get tricky. This switch actually gives you quite a bit of flexibility. Of course, you get audio through the HDMI output itself, what they call pass-through, which can handle up to 7.1 channel surround sound.
Standard enough.
Right. But it also has dedicated audio outputs. There's a Toslink optical port, which is great for, say, 5.1 channel audio to many sound bars or maybe older receivers. And you also get the classic stereo RCA outputs, the red and white ones.
So options for surround, digital stereo via optical, and analog stereo covers most bases.
Pretty much. And the source says it supports various HDMI audio formats, LPCM 7.1 bitstream, HD bitstream.
What does that mean practically? LPCM, bitstream?
Basically, it means it can handle whatever audio your source device sends. LPCM 7.1 is often uncompressed multi-channel audio, maybe from a PC or game console. Bitstream and HD bitstream refer to encoded formats like Dolby Digital DTS and the newer high-res ones like Dolby Atmos and DTS.X that you get on Blu-rays. This switch just passes that signal through cleanly to your audio system.
Very flexible. And there's an audio output switch to choose between analog or digital.
Yes, but here's where we need to highlight a really important detail from the source material. It's quite specific.
What's that?
Those dedicated audio outputs, the Toslink optical and the RCA stereo ones, they only pull audio from HDMI output A.
Ah, okay. So output B doesn't get its audio sent to those separate jacks.
Exactly. Audio for output B only goes out through its own HDMI connection. So if you're planning to use the Toslink or RCA outputs for your main sound system, you need to make sure your primary display, the one connected to that sound system, is plugged into output A on the matrix.
That's a critical point for planning your setup. Good catch. Okay, let's shift to actually using this thing. How practical is it day to day? The source mentions fast switching.
Yeah, and that's a big deal, honestly. Some cheaper switches have this annoying lag, like a few seconds of black screen when you change inputs.
Ugh, yeah, drives me crazy.
This one claims fast switching, so it should feel much more seamless, almost like changing a TV channel. You can switch using buttons on the front panel, or there's an included IR remote. Plus, it has LED lights to show you which input is going where and what kind of audio is active. Takes the guesswork out.
And what about the box itself? Is it bulky? Another big thing to clutter up the cabinet.
No, actually, the description makes it sound quite neat. It's got a slim design, black finish. Dimensions are just 1 inch high, about 4.5 inches deep, and nearly 11 inches wide. Should tuck away pretty easily.
Okay, unobtrusive.
And they mentioned something interesting about the power supply. It's a 5-volt DC adapter, pretty standard, but the plug that goes into the switch itself is a locking type.
Locking. Why is that important?
Well, if you've ever accidentally nudged a power cable loose behind your gear and suddenly lost the picture,
Yes. Many times.
that locking plug prevents that. Small detail, but really thoughtful for avoiding frustration. It's also rated for a decent temperature and humidity range, so it should be fine in most homes. And they give cable length recommendations too, up to 50 feet for 1080p, using good quality cables.
Okay, so connecting all this. This WolfPack Matrix Switch seems like a really solid solution if you're juggling multiple 4K sources and maybe a couple of screens. High performance, versatile routing, especially with that audio caveat in mind, and seems pretty user-friendly.
And thinking about the company, HDTV Supply, the source notes they've been around since 2002. That's over 2 decades in this specific field of connectivity.
Wow. Okay, so they probably know what they're doing.
You'd hope so.
Yeah.
Things like that, locking power plugs, the wide operating temps, even mentioning it's TAA compliant, which is mainly a government thing, but suggests a certain level of manufacturing standard. It all points towards experience in building reliable gear. They're also apparently well rated on Google Shopping and claim good support.
Right. So, to wrap it up, the WolfPack 4K 60Hz 4x2 HDMI Matrix Switch looks like a versatile way to manage up to 4K sources across 2 different displays, handles modern video standards, offers flexible audio output, remembering that output a limitation, all in a compact box.
Seems about right. High performance, good flexibility for many setups.
Okay, so here's something to think about after we finish.
Yeah.
With this kind of precise control over routing your video and audio, what new ways could you actually use your entertainment setup? Maybe something you hadn't even considered before.